Today's date is the 14th, doing shorty. It is sociable to introduce my cooking, so I've just snipped the curly kale, and as I was snipping, I overheard someone lurking under my window shouting at the dog, saying, "Sit down, don't lay down while you're doing it." So I can lay down while I'm cutting my vegetables and garlic. I don't know if it's connected to the spy in the loft that is boasting. It sounded, I don't know who it is. I haven't stuck my head out the window. All my windows are shut. Doors are shut. And so I don't know who it is. And what I do in my own home is my own prerogative. So cut the garlic, and then I'm going to put some water in it, and already made soup of curly kale. Pre-cooked potato. I'm going to add carrots and water, so it's and spinach. So kale, spinach, turmeric to help my immune system during winter months. And so I'm going to put water in here, add spinach in here, and here goes. Let's check out my cooking and how I do it on my cooker. So I'm going to add chopping. I haven't emptied the soup, so I'm going to carry on chopping the kale until it's all mixed, and then add 2 carrots. I've no onion, just garlic, and finish chopping this off, taking the stems off, and then snipping it. The ingredients here is 1/4 cup of rapeseed oil, 1/4 cup of vinaigrette from apple cider, and 5 cups of bottled water. Adding that yellow powder, which is a seasoning which has starch, yeast, and celery seed, cloves, mushrooms. It does contain a little bit of soya and mustard. I've done the vinegar, so that's 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to put corn flour as I stir it in the middle of cooking, slow heat. It's on my cooker, and I'm melting coconut, just a tiny little bit left. So I may alternatively use coconut instead of rapeseed oil. I can't sit down as I've got boxes to unpack. Cauliflower cheese, I'm going to be cooking cauliflower cheese the next day, and the rest of that's some of it's going in the freezer, some of it I'm going to cook again. Beetroot is for my rabbit because it's a root vegetable, and I'm not going to cook it, I'm going to cut it. So just add rapeseed, as I don't have enough coconut oil. I'll leave that to cook thoroughly. And so while it's on the cooker, that's when I put the water in it. So let's go. Yeah. So this authoritarian, nasty individual sounds similar to somebody who wanted to set me up with her ex-partner, who was she made in trouble with the police. As a ringleader, she made him tell me a lie that she was dog walking. Can he come in? As he came in, he sat on my plant table, broke it. I had to call the police to get him out. This was 7-8 years ago. And ever since that experience, I've decided never to go to visit a neighbour or neighbour visit me for the threat of being set up or getting into trouble, incriminated, demoralised, dehumanised, everything. So I keep myself to myself, mind my own business. I don't go and... I've even heard this same woman name her animals after human names. So she's totally insane. She calls her animals after her enemies, her pets after her enemies. She's totally insane. Whereas Christians, in the other way, actually we say we love our enemies. And every time I cuddle my pets, it's a curse and a condemnation against the enemy. Because I've never started any jealousy and envy or hate crime. They started it and they finished it. So they have antisocial behavior. To name their pets, I've heard them name their pets dogs, Mia, and all types of names. It is unprofessional behavior. And it is target of migrants living in England. I don't have welding equipment where I can have special gates and fabrications. I have a cleaner that can wash my bins for hygiene, which I have wheelie bins indoors, not outdoors, which is cardboard only, as I'm trying to use him less often and empty my own bins in small little bags like this. Yeah. So I empty my own bins now with a huge risk going up and down the stairs. I have to. This is my physiotherapy to strengthen my spine. I've gone through hell. And any appointments I have to keep, for a hospital appointment, I could use hospital-free travel. Even that was attacked. So I'm being trolled by corrupt authoritarian individuals watching me constantly. And here's their mark, their demonic mark. It looks like a vagina and a pee hole and a penis in my ceiling. And they will say, oh no, it's the boiler that's leaking. You're the one who's mad. Well, how do I know? They're doing some art with to make it look like it's a boiler when it's actually more sinister, something else. And as I say, it has been opened and I reported it. So there's a loft open here. And I've actually done a YouTube video with a loft door without a door for 3 years. To enable, so my landlord had enabled these narcissist abusers, total strangers to me, to attack me. So locally, I keep my windows opened in the summer, and not really the spring, but mainly the summer, when it's warm, and then I shut it for spring, fall, autumn, and also I shut it in the winter. I've never retaliated. I've never spoken back. Same neighbour has stolen my parcels before. She's put her family to live in my neighbourhood block who are drug addicts. So they're in a group. These gangsters, they're gangster stalked. And she's speaking to my old stalkers to cause trouble. So I can't trust anyone as a result. Maybe I should go to apply for a blue badge, a passport, and a support to help me find the right will in case I'm attacked on the street. As a result of being stalked and then merging together with the old stalker and spy with my new neighbour since I moved in here 10 years ago. I couldn't speak to them because I was bedbound and paralysed. And as soon as I managed to sit up again, which was 5 years ago, I was in a lot of pain. I was practicing like 5 minutes only, 10 minutes only, then lay down again. Now I can do up to 3 hours sitting up. They came and violated my privacy and knocked on my door and lied and said she was walking. Can I have a cup of tea? She'll be back in a minute. She never came back. I had to get the police to get him out. He had, my neighbour had a restriction order against her ex-boyfriend who was lying to me. He was saying that he was still with her. And so I don't want to be incriminated by neighbours of hell. Antisocial neighbours who never welcomed me here. And so I just live at civil arrangement, say hello. And that's it. Just say hello. Say goodbye. No chit-chats. Because they have nothing in common with me. All they do is gossip and slander and cuss me all day long and plan and organise crime. On social media, they've probably arranged the AI, I pray to God and hope to God that this doesn't happen, to target me for demoralisation, dehumanisation, incrimination, and all sorts of attacks. Simply for using social media and the internet. I'm not allowed to make my own social network. So if I ever was married in future, I would like to be able to have extra protection on the windows and the door locks. I would want to tint the windows to stop the bright sun. I would want to have double glazing, so I'm not having to be forced to have conversations with antisocial passerbys. I want to make sure that my loft is not situated in a hall or corridor in my future home. So there's no human rat or criminal hiding in there with a large camera or microscopic camera. And so it's so immature. And what is the best-selling double glazing window? I'll have to look in my yellow pages for that. For exterior and interior. Health and safety approved. So I'll do that when I move to my new home. I've made a decision. And I have to save up a lot of money. And in order for me to move quickly, it would have to be the same landlord, that is Thrive Homes. But if I'm going to move slowly, it would be some other landlord. I don't know. I haven't made that decision yet. So just because I listened or subscribed to somebody and I find his voice relaxing, whether he's married or not, what's it got to do with these horrible hate criminals that are accusing me of having an affair? I'm not having an affair with anybody. Never have, never will do. And it does not mean that I fancy someone or I'm having a dating agency on my thing. No. It has to be a proper meeting face-to-face. It has to be publicly announced. It has to be respectful relationship. No kissing in the public. Kissing in the private. And to be part of the society that's not constantly defaming me and using the most horrible accusations. So my food is now cooking. Planning to clean that oven, mini oven, and use it as often as I can. As soon as the boxes are out of the way, I can only do so much. And then keep using it as a slow cooker because it's on its way out. And buy a new cooker. Be more wiser this time and not use the same company that is part of the campaign that is anti-legal or illegal migrants. So they would damage it or they would do something to it. They're not insured. They only last for 2 years anyway. I do have someone that could help me recycle that mini oven once it's on its way out. And trying to calm from bad stresses. And what else could I say here in Miss Audible? Of 20 years of injustice. What could I title this video? When you are in a car and you have windscreen to remove the dirt or the rain and cold rain or frozen bits off the window, you can't do that with smear campaigners and pesky bad people that are constantly looking to cause problems and trouble and horrible. It's made me cry many years. So I did need to find a lorry that they could carefully wrap up and load up all my things so I can move. Or ferry to catch me on a sea. So that I can load everything. Either leave England. Yeah. I mean, that would be the best thing to do. Because since they left the European Union, they can make laws as they go to suit the criminals. And I don't know why they thought I was... they assumed, I suppose, that I was the same as the terrorists in the Balkans and Russia, which I'm not. So they poisoned me. Because they said I was Putin to punish me, not to pardon me. So, according to the bad guys, or the bad lot, I've made a note here. The camera, it was not allowing me to turn it around. They punish to punished to pardon, which is an authoritarian government. Whereas God's people, as saints, we pardon to punish. So we do it the other way around. We have each other's trust, and then we dig deeper to find solutions to the problem and punish to pardon. And then punish the bits that have been left over that should never be there. Because the smallest bit, the devil's in the detail. And so they constantly want to turn the tables. They constantly want to be in control and dominate. And since I'm totally alone, I find it impossible and overwhelming what they've done. To only secure themselves and to set me up in trouble and from the rooftops, from the ceiling. Can't believe it. So after being tortured, it's not enough that they tortured me, they had to kidnap my baby. It's not enough that they kidnapped their baby, they had to destroy my womanhood and leave me totally dry for nearly 10 years. More than 10 years, about 14 to 15 years. And they are a big problem. Absolutely deny the fact that they could do anything to investigate the loft. And if they do find some human rat in there, they would probably blame it on me or look for ways to blame me or do anything that they can. So it's so cruel. I had been crying my eyes, and then God said, wipe away your tears, wipe away your grief. Just pray, Lord Jesus, what should we do? Lord Jesus, please help us. And as a result of prayer, God, I suppose, is going to help me find something that I'm missing, to find some support somewhere instead of screaming. I can't scream even if I scream for self-defense, even that they would use to blame and shame me. No sympathy. So I'm still looking to find help and find organizations that are less political to untie the neat knots of bad ropes, suicidal ropes, and to tie up the holy knots that is good because God made it good, to bind us together with cords that cannot be broken, as the song goes. Trying to tired and exhausted of refusing these adulteresses who insist and put their foot in my door and overpower me with their being stronger or taller, bigger than me. Not necessarily fatter, but taller. It's impossible for me to climb anywhere being overweight because of being poisoned by wrong medication, psyched up. And the fact that I couldn't walk, being paralysed in about 7 years now. And the situation got worse. I lost saddle sensation and I deteriorated and got worse because I never had any treatment. They said it was a life risk and they said they would have to cut my bone to remove the bulging disc. And I said, well, I'm wounded enough. I don't need you to cut my spine. And so they've put some type of a track and tracing rope around and driven me back down with drug addicts, with vulnerable individuals who are bad, accusing me of being bad, for being poor or for being unemployed. And so this is very, very wrong and wicked. So I've explained the incidents I experienced with my neighbours putting me in hell with their ex-boyfriend. Never met him since. It was only a one-off incident. And this is how they get away with the wrongdoing. To reoffend is their one-offs. And then the other authorities give them an exception, and they're a nightmare. They cause me headaches. A different company has been drilling and making building works for about 10 years and only just started in October 2024, which is by Thrive Homes. They've started building over old people's home, got rid of old people's home, to the point of making noise from 8 a.m. every day, even at weekends. And so it's going from bad to worse. I don't know who makes these rules for building sites, particularly in a residential area. And cannot sleep in the mornings or at night from pain relief. Very tired. Every time I close my eyes, I have to wear earplugs, which can cause ear infections. Slight tiny bit of dirt can cause stuffing my ears with not silicone, wax earplugs. And I keep it in my Vaseline pot. So as a result, I don't have... this is my Vaseline pot. I don't have natural wax in my ears. And it's constant torture to not be able to sleep deprived, trying to recover from insomnia, trying to sleep after midnight. I only get about 3 hours sleep. I should maybe have a mosquito net in the summer to stop spiders and insects biting me. It's as if I live in Africa called Zambia in the summer in United Kingdom. There's so many pests that come in and insects. And I haven't had a fierce flu at all. I've been eating healthy. but I still have sickness and diarrhea because of having a rotavirus, and their secret is that they've denied me antibiotics. So I found a new doctor. I'm going to explain to her what's happened, who can accompany me, take a sample. Why my tummy is so bloated? I do drink plenty of water and very sick. My tummy was bleeding last year. And is it because of the colonoscopy and endoscopy of tubes going inside my stomach that did the damage, where they inserted by accident some microscopic dirt and infected my stomach? It didn't make me feel depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm not sad. I have been grief-stricken as a result of having my daughter taken away from me in 2014 at age 9. And I didn't feel sad. I felt exhausted. I felt that I couldn't help her. In opposition of me feeling depressed, I felt that either I should die or kill someone. In opposition to feeling depressed, I was traumatized in the sense that I fainted a lot and had to survive trauma. I was more angry than feeling sad, and fiercely frustrated that they've overpowered me with their legal, which was stronger than my legal, and permanent weakness of the deterioration of my spine and slipped disc and sciatica damage and nerve damage, literally having my daughter walk all over me. It was as if I had 2 or 5 children. That's how bad the stress levels were. So it's not as if she'd gone to her grandparents, her dad's dad and dad's mum. No. I got on with her granddad. I did not get on with the grandmum. And I noticed that when I called the bank, they've always found a woman who sounds similar to my ex-mother-in-law. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think my calls are being diverted every time I call the bank to someone that sounds similar to my ex-mother-in-law. So they're saying that they value her life and they hate my life. They want to murder me. Which is, there's a name for that. And I made a note of what it is. Let's see if I can find the note. I don't know. Could I find the note or why not? They want to. I found the note. There's a special saying for that. What they want to do to the authoritative government is they invade and then they overtake regarding my history records and my future. Change and rearrange everything. And the reason why they're doing that, there's a word for that. They're biased. They're a scam and a fraud. They want to protect the integrity of systemic abuse. And human gods and goddesses who call themselves gods, similar to God with a capital G. So I had severe headaches as a result of mental health intervention of 10 years, pills, aripiprazole, risperidone, and all types of psychiatric drugs and mental labels. I found Richard Grainen interesting, Sam Vaknin interesting, Todd Grande, as they were sort of professionals, but I did not expect to be accused of having affairs with these men or having sexual interests with these men. This is what the accusers did in their agenda to turn people against me on social media, which is dumb. So I've unsubscribed to say, well, I found it relaxing. I found it interesting, not knowing that they needed to leave some other sexual partner to have me, which was an accusation in order for me to get rid of anyone or them to get rid of me. Originally, we liked each other as colleagues and equal society, but my cyber bullies have destroyed all that. So God has promised me to bathe my feet in the blood of the wicked in the future. And I pray for that opportunity in the future. Maybe I should have a red wedding dress, bathing my feet and walking over the blood. Since they walked on the blood of Christ and the blood of the innocent, God's peoples and God's vengeance will hopefully suddenly happen. Because God gives me peace and harmony while they make constant bombardment and noise pollution. Never forget how amazing God is. Physically, my physical body and my spiritual body. It's as if I have a tropical disease of malaria, very little sleep. That's how I would describe these pesty individuals. And I hope that God answers my prayer soon, so that I'm not constantly mingled with fascist socialists and those that want to betray me and abuse my trust. I couldn't believe it. It sounds as though she was talking to her dog, but it was a coded language, her cussing me out, telling me to sit down and not lay down. It could be a coded language. I mean, again, I have no evidence. But as soon as they sense that I'm getting a little bit of a success and a little bit of a new beginning to recover from my illness, or trouble, they constantly appear to make a fight or some presumption or some speculation. So that's what a hate crime does. They've produced a social and domestic terrorist, which is psychologically deeply wounded me, that I cannot trust anybody as a result. I only have to associate with Christians and not non-Christians as a result. If I am different or more special, I'm attacked. And so now this is happening nationally in United Kingdom, England, and internationally. It's also a type of a famine, physically and spiritually, to be totally taken over by assassins of character, body and spirit. My cousins in Cambridge look exceptionally strong. They're also double dealing. Everybody's double dealing. They're two-faced. And I'm always in danger. Anytime I contact my bully, there's one main bully. My other cousins are so-so, but this one is a main bully who is always a type of wild animal cursing me as a domestic terrorist. And which is cold, cruel, and calculating. And I just have to look dumbfounded. I mustn't dare have any intelligence or beauty or look presentable, professionally presentable. I mustn't be in the right gear. I mustn't learn to drive. I mustn't dare have a bank account. I mustn't dare, because he doesn't like that. I mustn't dare call myself a new virgin in Christ again after abstaining from sex for 20 years nearly plus. I just laugh at that. This is ridiculous. I mustn't dare be an adult. I'm a stupid, ugly, immature nobody. And I'm like a young one, when in fact it's the other way around. They're young, aggressive thugs terrorizing me constantly. I'm not a Jew. My ethnic origin is half caste Macedonian, half caste Serbian. I don't have any English blood in me. However, since I have given birth to English blood and protected English blood, I never protested. I was never a political activist. I stood up for my human and civil rights and my privacy. And the more I did that, the more they ignored me and said, oh, it's all historic. It's all historic. Stop, stop, stop. They want to knock the breath out of me by premature aging and premature death, by constant bad stress and sighing. Oh, when will they ever stop? When will they ever leave me alone? And the answer is never. They think they want to push me out of my own home and me be constantly dumbfounded with how many crimes they could achieve without ever being scrutinized. Various types of crimes that they do, which is something that the government should introduce to stop the motorists and the drivers and get rid of, say they have no license, they cannot drive. That would be the best punishment for them. That they should be the ones that lose their bank accounts, not the innocent. And so that's how they've attacked me. So only God can save me from, again, they've weaponized everything. They demonize me. They demoralize me. They call me as a lesbian woman. I only coloured my hair once in my whole life. And I'm going back to normal hair colour because I miss my daughter so much and I wanted her lovely hair to be reminded of her beautiful hair. And I was in control. I was protecting it, cutting off the dead ends. And if I do colour my hair again in the future, it would be hair dye that has no ammonia in it, that won't damage my hair. And I was in control of my own hairstyles and my daughter's hairstyles. I only cut her hair once. The government made her go hysterical after they separated us permanently. She had an emotional detachment disorder. She was desperate to come back home. She seemed desperate. She was hiding in the cupboards and did not want to live in a foster home at age 9. The mob of gangsters accusing me, you don't have capital, you don't have social, you don't have a job, you don't have this, you don't have that to take care of a child. And I said, well, I didn't do that bad for the 10 years I did take care of her. And don't you realize I've been tortured? How can I work and be tortured at the same time? So amazingly, we were unharmed. So they want revenge to harm me and find a way to attack me on the account of false witnesses. They would fly around in every direction. If I was to go to my local church, local shop, I would be hunted down as an animal. If I go to my local bank branch or a large marketplace or a large cathedral or other sightseeing place such as a museum, there you go. I'm on foot, they're in cars, spying on me, stalking me. So, as I say, I'm the one who's making less pollution. I'm the one who's abstaining from sex. I'm the one who's not a drug addict of any kind. I've weaned off of the psychiatric drugs, which is backdated to 6 or 7 years ago. No, longer than that, 2016, 17. I'm the one who originally had a friend called Frida from Yorkshire, who was as an auntie to me. When her husband had an affair, who was Roger, he hurt her feelings so much that she didn't see any point in living. She gave up. She had a cancer in her brain or anywhere else in her body as a result of her husband, Roger, treating her badly. He was having an affair. He wanted to share her. He made her go mad so that she would want to have polygamous relationship. He's a horrible man. He's a devil. And I knew he was a devil all along. And I struggled to get him off of me when I wanted to find out how he treated his wife. And I didn't suggest that he would molest me. It became very personal. He demanding for me to be his girlfriend for his opportunity to molest me. I thought I was going to die there and then. And so my friend had died the same year that my ex-husband had died. And then he said that my friend Frida, his wife, was a false friend. She wasn't. She was a true friend. She only became very ill. He made her mentally ill. And a midget woman called Jo made Frida mentally ill. She didn't have anyone to nurse her because I couldn't nurse her while she became sick. I was nursing my own daughter. I very rarely saw Frida and Roger, or Joe the midget, or Paul. But all of them were my old neighbours from an old property. So I had 3 properties in total. One was a bedsit, which was horrible. The other one was a 1-bedroom accommodation because I wasn't expecting my pregnancy. For 10 years, I was sleeping on the sofa. And finally, I got the 2-bedroom accommodation after so many beggings. They want to kick me out now because they've kidnapped my daughter. I'm now under-occupied and have to pay thousands of pounds, according to them. They took away my free services for rubbish collection, and they expect me to pay for the special gift from God that gave me free services under the charity Grant Us a Smile very peacefully. But unfortunately, they're now changing their minds and expect me to pay for it. So I wanted to do a before and after to say that new staff are making a new difference to make things better for me. But since the old terrorists are involved, they're constantly turning the tables and deleting things, which are it's an extremely dangerous situation. Whoever they're going to recruit next, who my landlord is, what they're doing with my tenancy that I've been here for 10 years, they can become very nasty because of demanding for me to pay money in addition to the fact that they left me without a shower, disrepaired, for 9 years. And now I have to pay for my own pump because they refused to give me a new pump. It was their flooding about 5 times in 10 years, and my flooding as a one-off that my rabbit chewed the wire. For my one-off versus their 5 times is not fair. Everything that they do is unfair, unright, untrue, agonizing, and they do it deliberately. Across Thrive Homes, across all their subcontractors, they immediately narrow down or surround me by the enemies, or they narrow down any support I have because they think I'm some type of an Arab or some type of a man and not a woman, which is just really scary. I'm frightened as a result because of the political whores getting in the way, oversexed and overfed whores. Only they can use the Google and YouTube, and I can't, according to them. Only they can eat, have sex, socialize, and I cannot. I have to expect for them to poo and pee and spit and disrespect my home like a mountain of poo forever in the rubbish. So I didn't make a dispute. I simply recently wrote them a letter and said, this is the situation. And it is life-threatening. It's a death threat. And it seems as though I have inherited some type of a grave, a tomb, not a home. And my enemies are consumed with delight, my old enemies. Totally destroyed, beaten up, emotionally abused, physically abused as a disabled woman. And this commotion of living with fearful me being afraid of my own neighbours. No one seems to believe me, so I'm publicising it. Not only am I invaded in the loft, they have fully exasperated me. And if I had even the whole foreign army that's going to help me beyond reproach against the enemy, looting, stealing from me, being impatient with me, making me repeat myself over and over again, repeat, rumor, riot, refuse me any support that I'm supposed to get, which is extreme discrimination. They were supposed to have finished repairing my bathroom. Nothing has happened yet. They made excuses and said they're only coming in the afternoon, consecutive days, one day after the other, since they can't stay here the whole day from morning to afternoon. So they promised, I don't know if they're going to keep their promises or if it's going to be an empty promise, to rebuild the wall, the shower basement and the new shower unit. If they are going to keep their promises, then I'll do a video of after effects, after being finally receiving my area where I can have proper sanitation and I'm not relying on a flannel all the time. So I'm not comfortable in my own bathroom. I'd fallen twice. I told a solicitor. Then to my horror, I discovered that my solicitor's company for housing litigation has shut down for them being dishonest, liquidized. So the more I shout, the more I fight as a soldier, the worse the situation gets. There's no refuge, there's no rest, there's nowhere to hide. They're constantly confining me to a corner like a rat, when they're the ones who are the rat in the loft. As soon as somebody does come to investigate that I can trust, that criminal in the loft is already disappeared and covered its tracks. Like similar to surveillance. So I just hope to God to take care of all my problems and find a way to swap. Since Satan can swap, I'm sure God can swap. To turn the tables around against the enemy, their cruelty, them spying on my social media. I never invited any of my neighbours at my social media. I invited them on a WhatsApp, but they refused to communicate properly. And they would want to force evil on me as an individual or group community, because they're watching me for evil as a-holes. I had a battle with my buzzer. Somebody kept buzzing me at 3 a.m, all of summer. End of summer, I had a woman say she could see me put my slippers on. Quote, "I am watching you from the loft. I have military hidden cameras above you." Quote. In references to a different woman. I looked through the window, peeping behind the curtain. I don't think she saw me looking through the window. I was in the corner and she was right beneath my window looking up to intimidate me as some type of a living dead zombie. And I remembered to pass on that information to the police officer and told them that I was being spied, developed some type of a formal relationship with 3 officials from my housing, 22nd of August 2024. Again, whatever they have described that they could do to help has not been actioned entirely yet. It's still half done. So, I believe that I carry on praising God while I sleep, instead of being addicted to paracetamol is a pain relief. Not take too many telephone calls is also a pain relief, so I can also be open my mind and heart for God's revelation, what God's trying to reveal to me. Also waiting for God to bless me rather than me bless myself. And execute God to help me to judge right as God judges me by making sure I don't talk dirty or use slander, foul language. I'm constantly surrounded by foul language, so it's even more difficult to resist. I don't like slander, but it's the only way to describe robbery and rape. I also made a note in my book on page 183. Try to find it. Page 183, 81, 82, and 83. Found it. It says that God is bigger than my problems. God is brighter than any darkness that the enemy puts me in. Any sickness that I have, they may suffer the opposite. Maybe they have compensation while I have sickness and diarrhea. It's eased off a little bit now. It's not as bright yellow, slowly coming back. God has helped me to do the impossible. Through the truth, through prayer, reading my Bible, making notes in my Bible. So this particular note in the Bible, in page 183, trying to explain, is founded in, which is very, very helpful. Where is it? Psalms 46. It says, I praise God and God with God's angels watching over us in help in times of trouble. And in chapter 1, because any incident of crime and them watching me for evil, what's more important for me to remember and have that pain relief is that God is also surrounding me with God's holy invisible angel and is even more invisible than the invisible enemy. And I can laugh and be happy. Yes, I can. And be glad that I have a conscience of not being a criminal, conscience of never having an affair with a married man, conscience that I have not had several people that could help, only several people that were involved to attack me. So God has sent angels to help me in like a spiritual compensation to the several people that would always attack me rather than help me. So being oppressed is looking for someone who does care and express care for me in a professional sense. When you're hugged, so Frida, who died in the same year as my ex Chris, my daughter's dad, I remained single ever since because I wanted to protect my little daughter living with me. I didn't go dating men or have dating agency. It's my first time this year, 2024. And I'm looking at it, Bumble as a type, and others as a type of social experiment to see how far and how wide do these terrorists are going to attack me to have nothing at all. So it's only there for the very rich, not for the poor. So living in a ghetto to cause me harm by some type of arson or some type of poison. And so God help me be protected in life-death situation. To find genuine people that care for not necessarily emotional support or financial support, mainly to protect me as true witnesses and be practical. Just little bit of a thing. That means I'll have to join the church, but I'm being followed at the same time, which is scary. It's as if my home is a prison. They've turned my home into a political prison since they've kidnapped my daughter, which is causing me a lot of harm. So they don't have a duty of care. They're doing it for money. They're doing it for controlling me with their authoritarian systemic abuse. Whenever I travel on holiday, I was stalked by a plainclothes police officer. And so I have this parallel universe of their freedom and an unfair, unequal society that I can't do anything else that adults are doing because I am unemployed, uneducated, I'm not up to date with my education and don't have capital. And so they've said I was a child. I'm like childlike as a result of a lot of pain and a lot of pressure without any purpose, no time to myself. So every breath that I take back, and I keep praying, God, give me more time. Give my loved ones and those who do care for me more time. Give us more protection, Lord. In the morning, Jesus, Christ, give us more of your presence every time the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, or comes to betray and destroy. Every time, Lord, I pray, as I send this testimony across the scope of living dead zombies and the gods with a small g. Because we worship you, God, the Spirit of truth. We want to cooperate with you, God, in every activity, whether we are small in number or a great multitude, a mighty host of your holy angels and your saints that I believe are still alive. They're not dead. Still with you. It is not the occult, but communicating with the Holy Spirit that is in control of all of our spiritual bodies, not as an outcome of speaking to the Ouija board, speaking to the dead, rather than the living. Jesus says this little girl who died is not dead, she's asleep. Her spirit is with us. Give her something to eat. Jesus resurrected the little girl and gave her some meat to eat. So I mustn't be afraid the time that I do eat meat and the times when I have a crisis is especially when I should eat meat to help me recover my spine and terrible subject of terrorism. And to verify in this video my honesty, being a saint, being persecuted as a Christian, and the effects of my experience that I have emphasized being exhausted and having chronic pain in my spine and my stomach, hoping to find the medication that I need, alternative to paracetamol, and the thrilling horror of that which is wrong compared to being excited and intoxicated with that is right. So Christ's authority, Christ's power is also exciting, and we must fear God more than fearing humanity. It is God to be feared in a respectful way, not those who demand respect and earn their respect. No. We don't earn our respect. We live by showing respect of our mother and father who love us, not those who abuse. I've never abused, not a child abuser, never. Why should they separate me from my daughter for simply cutting her hair short once in her whole lifetime and using once in her whole lifetime a little thin stick from a tree branch so that she gets the message that no means no for her own safety? Why should I be punished on social media and put on the path of danger when they have done and enabled it by government crime? They should disable it. I'm disabled enough. I don't want to be disabled anymore. No, they should disable functions on social media that could put me on the front lines of battle. I don't want that. Why would you put someone in a wheelchair and crutches and walking sticks at the front line of battle? Why would they put LGBTQ, gays and lesbians and oversexed and overfed in the front lines of battle? They need to put trained people, soldiers and armies at the front lines of battle to combat. Not the rumours, not the gossipers, not the perverts, not the pub goers. They're not army soldiers. What the hell? No, we don't want the adulteresses as our army soldiers, as our police officers, as our doctors and nurses. No, these are not civil servant jobs and not for them. That's how I close my video. And corrupt judges, not for you. They don't respect God's people must not respect them either. If you love the systemic world, you hate God. Do not love it. So I'm now going to cook another hour. So cooking it for 3 hours on a slow cook. Let's see, how is it doing? I mean, they've perfected it so much that it sounds so convincing, whatever they have said, that even the most elect would be deceived. So the carrot is softer, and then I'm just going to add the sauce, extra sauce, and cook it for another hour. It's doing well. I need to add organic cream without any dairy produce, just coconut. How's my kitchen sink doing? My kitchen looks still pretty clean. Putting these potatoes in an old fish biob in here, which was an old fish thing. Washing my lettuce and then putting that on the plate. Getting rid of an old rotten potato and that bowl where I pre-soak it, and then any crumbs or dirt goes in the toilet. I don't want it going down my sink. It's never been blocked. I have my laundry here cleaning things. Yep. So it looks clean. I have a bin there instead of a cooker, which I'm going to put there. This is my bin area with wheelie bins on it. And just for cardboard, he's done the last emptying of my smelly bins. Yep, cleaned the area for where the boiler cupboard is. I don't know what that black thing is up there. What is it? What is that black thing? What on earth is that? What is that? Oh, it's a book. I don't know what that book's doing there. It's Fire Angel. Carbon monoxide thing, I've got that. Carbon monoxide. Christmas tree. Christmas decorations to go up. Be doing that in the late November. Yeah, because I don't want to only look at the pagan festival. I want to look at the facts of not ruining God's holy memory of him being born for children's stories. I don't want to ruin that for children. No way. Ouch! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so I'm going to pause and then I'm going to look at this photo album. Again, evidence that I'm being stalked and spied. That's me and my daughter. Hi, Raisins. You look like horrible, but I love you. Oh. And so, yeah, 10 years at that property with me being there for one bedroom on the sofa. Me and my daughter had our own room for 9.5 years. He was writing things on the tree, copying my letters. I wrote him letters because he proposed marriage to me. I invited my daughter's friends to come round. Yeah, that was my doing. She now lives in America. We used to breed hamsters and sell them on a newspaper. He would follow me on our path to the school and leave either oil on the ground to tell me that he's been stalking me, or sticks in alphabetical words that he would put there to threaten me that I'm being followed. I had some strange dolls, mini dolls being put there, and coins with some of them had heads, other ones didn't have heads, which was very scary. Horror every day, constant threats. I never told anybody, I just took pictures because I gave up after telling the police, and they would not do anything. He would use a graffiti, but they'd say it's something to do with the builders, which isn't. It means he called me a goo, that I emotionally drained him because I said no. And then he's thirsty, say when. And then another drain, goo, which is what I told him my father called me, 43. Goo, 36. But they're saying it has nothing to do with my stalker. It's to do with these men who needed to repair the drains. And in that case, why did I have his initials on the drain? Yeah. Drain lid. It's like an evil volcano. So these are the pictures taken after I gave up, but the police didn't do anything. So I have here so what I did on the bin to get rid of him, I put a bell, a cassette, on my bin, because he kept coming in my car park and he wouldn't leave me alone, I put all of this prophecy being fulfilled, of the gun, of the nuts, of the God's word, empty pot, hamster spot, no more food left. All that prophecy is being fulfilled since I joined social media for the first time. Because he kept looking into my bins, putting bamboo sticks on the ground. And when we came to live at this neighbour in my block called Annette, she had a bamboo plant next to her Wellington boots to say, boo, she's been talking to my stalker. Oh my God. They've put next to the bamboo bushes and 2 trees that have been cut, evil whistleblower saying that I have broken the 10 Commandments that looks like a Bible book made of stone. He's put that there. So he's judging me wrongly as a worse hypocrite. He didn't like to be judged himself. So he should shut up. Him and others who are obviously involved. There's my daughter there. She was going to school and we came across bamboo sticks, letters on the ground, Bible in the stone, all types of things that he would break the fence on the path where there was graffiti about him and me on it, in connection to this evil man who would get drunk in the pub and say that he wanted a baby but he can't get it because he's with some other witch, some other woman, bitch. On my footpath, same old shite. While I was just having simple fun with my daughter and I had great fun ignoring these terrorists, she had a load of fun with her pets. So they wrote on this fence, because I called him a gay man, my daughter looking at it. He called him King Shark. He knew that we were buying fish. I was a fish keeper. I loved fish. And I like eating fish too, fish and chips. We had all types of fish and I took care of them for about 8-9 years. And this man would not leave me alone. He kept invading my privacy, stalking me as a terrorist. And he knew it. I did a beautiful letter. Oh, look, there's a hamster there. My handwriting of all the letters I wrote. Yeah. Yeah, I did write letters, and we had this plastic bird feeder and bird bath there. He put a puzzle there on our path, or she did, and some vomit on the ground. This was my ex-husband when he was alive in a marriage home, and not knowing that he cursed me and made a plan to contact Children's Social Services by putting a picture of a reindeer. So he pre-planned his death. He pre-planned to contact Children's Social Services and hand me over to the executioner. He did all that. Dandelion, and he's still haunting me today. Like, you took care of her. Now I'm going to do it. It's my turn, he said. And so I have warning, it's not a pizza. Oh, hot pizza, not pizza. It's dog poo near our front door, where I had put talcum powder in because I didn't want, and Hello Kitty, I did not want it near us, dog poo. I reported it to the council, said that they were leaving dog poo near my door and graffiti. They said I was mad. Yeah, I enjoyed Dorito crisps. Sharing bag. Against the green witch, envious witch. And so, what else have I got here as evidence-wise? Being stalked in cars while I was on foot. Oh, I put an old chicken soup thing there, which was a condemnation against the stalkers that kept stalking me. They've put pepperoni there, or Ribena. And they've put a letter A in oil. These are all youngsters. It could have been his son or his grandson doing it. There's my front door with the oil penis on near the flowers. See that? Or it made of oil, which looks very similar to what I've got on my ceiling today. Same thing. That's my light bulb. The lights are off because I've got the window opened. The other time it was a penis, like with balls on it, bollocks. Oh, there it is. And they're saying it's nothing to do with him, it's some other couple. Yeah, so how come if it's nothing to do with him, he was the one who last called me his booby. So he's obviously got another booby connected to, what does it say? Connected to pussy. 2010. Nippy, and it said booby. No, the other one did. Hamster. And so they're saying it had nothing to do with me. It's something to do with another evil couple. Nothing to do with me. But she was in bed with him. She told me. And the corrupt police officer, Phil and Jay. So who's lying? And so they're totally mad. Insane. Then he wrote on the gate, they made me do it. Same path. Oh, Queen's Drive. Oh, pass me on to the entire politician, why don't you? Demented crap. Say, yeah, go kiss Jay. Oh, my Jay. That park has been there. No one claimed it for many years. Jesse Miller. There we go. Miller in the woods. Miller. So he's hiding in Japan, and he could turn up at any time. He had a van there that was there for many years, and suicidal ropes on the tree. Could commit suicide. So and also somebody having sex on the hill, because I told them that was my mother when I was his pen friend, and that they wanted me to run away from him, because when I took my daughter to play area, I realized I was being stalked there. And so he would park in the car park, or in my car park that never had a car because my ex-husband didn't drive. My husband that I showed a picture of, him, he was a milkman. He was a professional Borg with Paramount Pictures. Borg Monster. Universal Studio. So he's the one who's attacked me the most, because he never defended our home. He pre-planned the kidnap and everything. And so he would put steps there, knock on my door. I open the door, there's nobody there. I had some modern art on my window from Belgrade, and it said, God's word, hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us. Yeah. I had that on my window, and as a Christian lady, and how because of this evil man, he had attacked my physical body the most. I don't think that was on the window. I think it was just the head that was on the window. Oh, yeah, that was him there in his Jeep. And his black friend, he had a black friend that came to constantly defend him. I also had a Hoover. When I was cleaning it, he took that as a message to say, I want you to die. Die, my son. Dyson. There was no message. I was simply cleaning the Hoover. So he's a total madman. So he would constantly read these hidden messages and have side women and drive women mad. He would put chocolates that said Snickers or Knickers on my plants. He would cut my toy that was in the garden and my daughter's swing and slide and put some pennies there. He would engrave his initials with the last woman he had sex with in the park. Honestly, these people never grow up. He had a Russian doll there and a money plant and swans, and their head was cut off. And the letter Z. So the same demon spirit which currently possesses Putin of unholy war, they never listened to the truth. And it was very wrong. So I had a bunk bed, and I could touch the ceiling. And I noticed, oh, what is this? It looks like a merman. Mermaid laying down. I just went over, I'm going to paint and decorate anyway. And as I did, psychiatrists came and had a look at my ceiling because I took pictures of it. And I said, wow, look at this. Look what I found. And because I took pictures of it, said I was going to paint and decorate, they made it into put me into a psychiatric ward for that. Yeah, that's what he is. A giant rodent with a huge, ugly purple dick. And so the very letters I wrote to him to see if he could be a friend, he's no friend at all. Even my pet rat hamster was more intelligent than him. And we enjoyed our car. I purchased some things from the second-hand shop, some things from the first-hand shop, brand new. And this is my certificate. of the hamster I purchased, backdated. My certificate I just looked at. My daughter enjoyed a ball that was blowing in the air. So she had shoulder length hair there. She was age 8. She had long hair, shoulder length there. She had beautiful haircuts. It was only a one-off when I cut her hair. So it's all to... Yeah, so blessed are those whose iniquities are forgiven. So that word was given to me, and the devil came to take it away. Horrible tunnel. And evil wankers, graffiti, and a clown. My daughter and I went through that tunnel, unaware of the fact that we would end up in a flat with the same door number, 69. My daughter enjoyed lots of balloons and bubbles and drawing. She was age 7.5. Also going for walks in the rain. And discos and all types of clubs we did. And I discovered this near my Stanborough school, which had my name bag on it, but said Maria. And they keep saying, it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. It's somebody else. This is what my ex-mother-in-law looks like. So I liked my ex-father-in-law, but did not like... We liked each other, but did not like me. So she's the one that... never wanted to have anything to do with Sam and Charlotte. She kept telling her son to stay away. So she's the one that kept saying bad things. So at birthday parties, celebrations, toys. All these toys. Lots of toys. And my daughter even had all of these toys. And I had even an octopus there from her baby toy she kept. Where's it gone? All the books that she had. Very much less watching the television. We've gone to the cinema a lot for as a reward. Theatre. We found someone put dog poo in a dog bag on a thorn, which wasn't very nice. God. My daughter had a gun there. She was there. Yeah. I don't know what. I had an igloo card. Igloo. My daughter's little message. What does it say? I just remembered when I was age 4, you took me to go inside one igloo. That is how I spell igloo, copy from my mum's medicine for her mouth ulcer. I lit a candle in a church today that was on fire. 50 years. What? So she did that. She was also enjoying a Ribena drink that the enemy was copying. He would write in trees. This is what you call witchcraft. My daughter had a ribbon that she enjoyed playing with. We had a beautiful seashell. We used to take a coach trip to the seaside. So all these memories, she had animals at the zoo and a boat that I purchased from Answers in Genesis and flowers. And she enjoyed strawberries with her friend and before she moved to America. What have I got? And then there's my foster mum there and my daughter. So all of this is sort of like evidence, but not much, not really. They could say it could be anybody. Doesn't necessarily mean that. I have other pictures of mysterious chairs that would pop up on our public footpath, and they will say it's someone that's arguing somewhere. Not necessarily anything to do with me. But somehow I'm involved, somehow, as a type of a side woman for Jay or his other stalker, or some jealous and envious woman. What was I cooking there? Got Marmite, cabbage, cooking something. Oh, meat. Casseroles. Don't want to say anything else anymore. Everything, we've been totally condemned and cursed by this marriage, atheist man. He hated me to read my Bible. I have to read it every time I go to the toilet. I would read the Bible. And this was my lamp, which looked like a tree. Small little lamp. And I was constantly terrorized for being married, number one, to an Englishman, and number two, for divorcing an Englishman. I think I had seen a woman called Elaine O'Brien, who was my solicitor, who helped me to divorce. And I said I was going through hell. He used to physically assault me. I was stuck with being robbed and raped as a result. This man had gone mad. He'd put JH and EM on the tree. This man would not leave me alone. It was all on his terms to control me rather than to care for me. And so, yeah. And this is still happening today. Even though he may be in a different country or someone else is assisting him in doing crimes, repeated crimes against me. Forever. And that's my punishment for marrying an Englishman. And I can't get them to stop. They keep repeating evil history. So they're saying every time I see my daughter, she is him, which is evil. She's not him. She's got her own soul and her own mind and her own heart. And so that's my prayer that I've just covered. And my whole book clear of, well, it's quite heavy. It's heavier than any solicited bundle, legal bundle. My photos are, and evidence is even more bigger by comparison. So next I'm going to eat my washed lettuce and enjoy the lettuce, and my rabbit's going to enjoy the beetroot. I'm just hoping for a new life and to get them away from me. That's what I want. I want them to leave me alone. My life to be separated from them. Them to stop boasting about their evil freedoms, evil peace and evil joy of stealing and killing and turning my home into a tomb where they can poo and pee and have sex on. Or to attack me and accuse me of being some type of a prostitute. They're the prostitute. So that's how I close my video. He constantly wanted me to have an affair. I constantly rejected him. So he came back on social media with the same attack, strategy, tactic of that devil. I'm Maya Maria Marina, closing the video. It's now end of the day. I've done a long video. I want to keep this video pinned. I want to make 3 videos pinned and then lock everything else up.